Hi everyone, happy Monday. I'm Carly and this is Junuh Virtual Safari. So today, if you read the caption, you know right where we are. We are behind yard 2 of Toyota Elephant Passage, talking about everyone's favorite baby greater one-horned rhino, Junuh, and her mom, Tenzing. So we're really excited for today to check in with our growing gal who is just getting bigger in both her weight and her personality every day. And we've got a great unique vantage point back here that you haven't seen before in any of these virtual safaris. So we're really happy to have you all here. So jump in the comments, let me know how your weekend is, if you celebrated Father's Day, what you want to know about Junuh or greater one-horned rhinos in general. So let's get started. All right, so Caitlin's gonna be manning the hose for little Junuh to get her wallow on, and Sarah is here to answer your questions. So hi Lala, I know she did her own little personal virtual safari at home and had a little baby Junuh.
Oh, that's
little
awesome.
Stuffed animal, so she loves Junuh. Hi Lala, hi Xander, just letting a couple people join in here. Mark, one of our awesome volunteers, is watching. So right now we're just watching Junuh get one of her favorite activities, water.
Water usually gets her going. She'll start running around and playing.
So we have a nice group, groups in the back who are watching. So this is fun for them. It's nice to have visitors back here, isn't it?
It is really nice to have people back.
Yeah, we were just, last time we did a Facebook Live on Junuh, we were just about to reopen. So this is our first time since she's been out since we've been open. So Lisa wants to know, what's the plan for Junuh as she gets older?
So Junuh is part of something called a Species Survival Plan, an SSP, if you hear that acronym thrown around the zoo world. So eventually she will be matched genetically with another rhino that she would be a good match to breed with eventually. So that's still a few years away of her even leaving. Her and Tenzing really like spending time together now, and they will for a few years. But eventually we will want to, be a part of contributing to greater one-horned rhinos and their numbers recovering, and Junuh will hopefully be a part of that.
Absolutely. So here goes Junuh kind of in her wallowing pool. Hi Rebecca, caller run watching from California. We're so glad you're with us. Hi to Nate and Zach, Zechariah and Josiah, Ethan, Luke and Lydia. It's just so great to see all your names in here. Hi from Karen. So she loves to wallow. How deep is that wallow pool? Because we've also seen Tenzing lay down in it.
Yeah, it gets pretty deep. Maybe not quite a foot, but it gets pretty thick in there, and she loves getting as covered in it as possible.
Yes, she does. And this is just sort of like the next level up. When she was a really itty bitty baby greater one-horn, we'd had a sprinkler in her bedroom stall, and now she's definitely prepared to take on the hose and the muddy wallow.
Yep, she's also found the pool.
Yes.
So she has learned to swim. Tenzing is a really good swimmer, her mom, and she has brought her into the water. And so, Junuh's been swimming and getting her feet wet.
It is very interesting. It does not seem logical to think of greater one-horned rhinos as being good swimmers.
Yeah.
What helps them swim so well?
They just have a really good instinct for it. So since this is such a water-loving species, they naturally just like to spend time in the water, and part of that is being good swimmers. Kind of like elephants. You wouldn't think that they would be very buoyant, but they actually love to swim.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Claire has a great question. She wants to know, how is it possible that Junuh just keeps getting cuter?
We were saying the same thing right before the Facebook Live started. We were like, she only gets cuter.
She really does. She's so active.
Perfect.
How is she reacting to now having crowds of people?
Actually really well. Yeah, it was something we were a little bit not quite nervous of, but conscious of how especially Tenzing, her mom, would react to having people around again. And yeah, they have not seemed to mind at all.
Oh my gosh. So all that mud that's going to cake to her, what is that going to do? How's that going to benefit her on kind of sunny, hotter days?
Yeah, that's really good sunscreen for them. And then especially getting it on the top of her back, it's really good fly protection. So unfortunately we've got these big horse flies that can get through Rhino's skin, and when she gets the mud on her back, since their tails are so short, they can't get flies off their back like a horse could. Or even the elephants, they can get them off their back with their tails or by throwing sand on themselves. But if a horsefly lands on the middle of their back, they don't really have too much they can do except rolling in mud. So it's good sunscreen and good bug spray.
She's kind of bugging mom, like, don't you want to run around with me? Don't you want to get in the pool with me? Come on. Dominic has lovingly named the SSP Z Harmony, which I think is pretty clever. And he's wondering if we know how many greater one-horns currently live in zoos. I think it's below 100 last we checked.
That sounds right. I don't know the exact number, but
yeah.
80s.
Yeah, possibly somewhere between 80 and like mid-90s, because Junuh was a very valuable addition to the SSP.
Yes.
Rory is 5. He wants to know, how much does she grow a day?
So she's still putting on weight pretty regularly. She can gain as much as about 2 pounds a day. So we weighed her last week. She weighs 500 pounds. As of last week, she was 500 even, which was a really cool milestone. So by now, she's probably put on another, 20 or 30 pounds. So she's due for a weight. We try to get her, as she's coming out to the yard, we'll try to weigh her about once a week. But the last weight that we got on her, she was exactly 500 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And she's 4 months old today, actually.
Oh my gosh. Well, happy 4-month birthday to Junuh, who's now more than 3 times what we think was her birth weight, because we weren't able to weigh her immediately. Claire wants to know, is Tenzing considered an older mom? Because Tenzing's 14?
Tenzing is 12.
12,
Yeah,
okay.
she's 12. She is a little bit, not quite geriatric mother or anything, but she has been mature since she was around 7 or so. So it did take a few years to get her pregnant, which I know you've mentioned.
Yes.
Where you can find the story of how Tenzing got pregnant and how we got Junuh here. But yeah, she's been mature for about 5 years or so now. So a little bit later than other female rhinos might have been to get pregnant, but still a young rhino.
Where other female rhinos might have been on their second baby by then. She just had her first. So still well within the, appropriate healthy age to have a baby. Nate is 7. He wants to know what her favorite enrichment is, and I think we're looking right at it, this wallowing pool.
The wallow, the hose. Yep, that's about her favorite thing.
Zechariah is 3, and he wants to know if rhinos are dangerous to people.
They can be, for sure. We do not go in with these animals, so even though they know us and trust us and can be super friendly with us, they can be a little bit unpredictable. And even if they were playing and didn't want to hurt us, Tenzing weighs 4,000 pounds, so just a quick toss of the head if something scared her, outside, a noise or something, they could hurt us.
Absolutely.
And they certainly can be dangerous, for sure.
Hi, Chris from Buffalo. Tenzing has only had 1 baby, and you're looking at her right now. That's Junuh. Josiah wants to know how Junuh and other rhinos protect themselves.
That's a great question. So this species of rhino, greater one-horn rhinos, also called Indian rhinos, you might notice not Junuh, but Tenzing's horn is a little bit smaller than you might think of a rhino horn. African species have the 2 really long horns that most people think of. And so to make up for their smaller horns, because we don't touch Tenzing's horns, that's just how she wears it herself. She kind of rubs it down on things. But this is the only species of rhino that have these really big, sharp incisor teeth. Junuh already has hers coming in, but they will use their teeth to protect themselves from other rhinos, and that's the reason why they have this armor-plated skin, to protect the important parts from other rhino bites. So if a rhino bites them, they're just getting skin. They're not really going to get to anything important. You can see her neck, on both of their necks, it's a lot thicker skin there, so if they got bit by something, they're not getting to any of that important stuff.
So there you can see Junuh. So she's about 500 pounds, and only comes up to probably about like middle of our thigh, our knee.
Yeah, yep.
And then here's Mama Tenzing, 4,000 pounds. So quite the size difference. So she has a lot of growing to do. Daphne wants to know, what is her favorite food? Is she eating more solids?
She is eating more solids. Yeah, she started eating hay now too, Tenzing's hay. Probably her favorite is similar to what Mom's is, which is browse. So we give them tree branches and leaves as part of their diet, and Junuh really likes, hi Tenzing, Junuh really likes eating that and chewing on the sticks. And then Tenzing here also gets a grain pellet, and Junuh likes to try some of her food as well. So she is definitely eating more and more solid food.
Here's some rhino ASMR for everyone of Tenzing eating. So maybe she'll give us a look at her mouth there. It's kind of got that square bottom lip like the hippos have, but then her top lip has a prehensile kind of finger at the end of it, which helps her pick up food. And now Caitlin's sort of asking her to open her mouth so she can look. Just give an inspection. That's the type
that
of
little incisor tooth.
Yeah. Oh, that's not a little tooth at all. That is a big tooth.
Big tooth.
But when people ask kind of what training we do, that's exactly it. Caitlin signals, please open your mouth. And Tenzing opens it and gets a treat.
I don't have treats.
Yep, Sarah's like, I don't have any treats for you today. You got some slime on your nose, Tenzing.
Yeah, she doesn't have very nice eating manners.
No,
that's okay.
we try. I mean, she's covered in mud. She's got slime, grass boogers coming out of her nose. She's okay. She's in her own home. Who is she trying to impress? So Andrew is 9, and he wants to know, does Junuh love to be brushed like other rhinos?
She does. She lays down pretty quickly, actually. If we start petting her, especially, on her legs, that's where a lot of rhinos really like to be pet, is on their legs, and she'll lay down kind of right away. It's pretty cute, almost like she can't help herself. It feels so good.
So Tenzing's reaching for some of the grass over here.
Hi.
How much does she get fed a day? Because she's definitely acting like we don't feed her enough.
Tenzing?
Yes.
Tenzing gets actually as much hay as she wants, which is usually about a bale, which weighs around 60 pounds a day. And then she gets a little bit of alfalfa. She gets some of that grain pellet cereal I was talking about, a whole big Tupperware of produce. So all in all, she probably gets around 75 pounds of food a day.
Yeah, so don't believe Tenzing's hype. She gets plenty of food, and she doesn't have to resort to eating the weeds outside of the yard to get a good snack. She's just playing, y'all. She just wants you to donate to Denver Zoo. So Amber says you can tell how relaxed and content they both are with you and Caitlin. How long does it take to sort of build that relationship and trust?
How long does it take? That's a good question. It kind of depends on how much time you're spending with them as well. So like one of the ways that we start building relationships is just by feeding them really good treats. And then they start to see this person as, oh, I should pay attention to them because I get really good treats from them. Hi, Junuh.
Look at her eyelashes.
That's a lot of actually what we're doing with Junuh right now, because she's still a little bit, she'll kind of want to hang out and then might be like, okay, I'm going to go do my own thing. So we're still in that relationship building phase with Junuh of just, hey, you should pay attention to us because you can get really, really good treats. And as she eats more solid food like grass, like Caitlin's feeding her, then she'll, be more likely to come over to us. So depends on the animal. It depends on how much time we're spending with them.
Oh, they're so cute. Hi, Laura from Virginia. That's where I'm from. Nice to see a fellow Commonwealthian in here. How much do you estimate Junuh gets fed, and how much does she nurse still?
She still primarily nurses.
Okay.
So she, we have not measured how much of Tenzing's food she eats or anything. She also eats pretty slowly. She's still kind of trying to figure out how to use that upper prehensile lip. So it's pretty slow compared to how well and quickly Tenzing eats. But yeah, primarily nurses, and then just kind of puts a lot of things in her mouth and eats some of it.
Just like any toddler would. Junuh has missed Caitlin, definitely, who has been working in a different area during our closure. So I think Junuh's very happy to see some other familiar faces. And definitely hasn't forgotten Caitlin in the 4 months. So I think that makes her happy. Thank you for your donation, Rachel. And if you want to donate in another way to Denver Zoo, you absolutely can. We are running a contest to name our lion cubs. Some other cute additions we've just had here. So if you go to our website, you can get more information on that, denverzoo.org. You can vote $1 for one vote between 3 names for each of our cubs. Wendy wants to know, what is Junuh's favorite play activity?
It's definitely playing in the water, and then this big mud wallow that they're right in front of and all covered in. Yeah, she loves playing in the water.
Lauren says, Junuh nearly got your hair, Caitlin. She was trying to give you a haircut. They're hard to come by these days. Oh my gosh. So how has Tenzing kind of grown into being a mom these last 4 months?
Yeah, she has actually recently gotten a lot more relaxed with her. I think she kind of knows Junuh a little bit better and knows what she can trust her with. So Before, if Junuh would start running around and playing, Tenzing would kind of run with her a lot more. And she still will. A couple days ago, they were both running around playing together. But when Junuh gets in her little zoomy mode like she was at the beginning of this, you know, you might have seen Tenzing just happy to keep eating. So she just kept an eye on her, but knew that she wasn't going to get into too much trouble. So yeah, Tenzing's been an awesome mom. She's teaching her how to be appropriate. You know, she'll play back with her. Junuh really likes to try to spar and fight with her, and she'll give it back to her, but gently enough. So it's been really cool to watch Tenzing be a mother.
Yeah, that's really exciting for us as a zoo team to see that, because we can only guess so much as to what a personality will be like, and mothering is really a learned behavior, not necessarily an instinct. So Tenzing has done a beautiful job raising little Miss Junuh here. So it's really fun to see her grow. Someone had a really good question, wondering if those inside folds of skin where it's softer are prone to infection.
No, they're not. So they're not too deep, and when they take a step, I know they're kind of far, or I might show you how deep it is, but I mean, you can get part of your fingers in there, but not your whole hand or anything. So they're not super deep, and they spend so much time in the water that they get, you know, if there's anything stuck under there, they get cleaned out. And
yeah,
when they're running around, you'll see their folds actually like flap in the wind. So they're not super deep or anything.
Hi Christina, Junuh's dad does not live here at Denver Zoo. We do have a male greater one-horned rhino. His name is Bandu, but he is not the father. We actually got a sperm sample from a greater one-horned rhino named Jouna from Omaha's Henry Dorley Zoo and Aquarium, and we did artificial insemination. So her father is over in Omaha. Great question. That's part of that video where we explain her pregnancy and how Junuh came to be. So it's all explained there. It's a really cool process and story, so I highly recommend watching it. Yeah, Bonnie, we were able to get up close this time. It's always tough. Different parts of the yard, maybe they'll come up, maybe they won't. So we're lucky that since we're back here today, they didn't just spend all their time over at that fence. Let's see. We're getting some great questions. Everyone wants to be a zookeeper and hang out with animals. Yes, me too. Shannon is 10. She wants to know, what kind of schooling do you need to do to work with animals?
Hi, Shannon. So most people get a bachelor's degree, which is like a 4-year college degree. There are also some programs that do an associate's degree in zookeeping specifically, and that's a 2-year program. But generally, a college degree and some kind of science is recommended. And then getting lots of experience. So internships, volunteering at Denver Zoo. You can start volunteering when you're 13. Or you know, even if you just want to volunteer at a dog shelter, getting as much animal experience as you can. Those are some of the really good ways to get into a zoo.
Here are some of those pesky flies.
Yeah, I'm about to get them.
Yeah, Sarah's gonna get those flies off while Caitlin distracts Tenzing. So their skin is pretty thick. Yeah. So don't worry, that smack.
It sounded loud, but she likes to be pet.
That smack barely registers for an animal like Tenzing. Louise, mom is about 4,000 pounds. Mom is Tenzing right here, and Junuh is 500, probably a little more at this point, because that was the last one we mentioned, or that was the last weight we got. Hi Karen, the video I'm talking about is on our YouTube page. It's also linked in the comment section, so look for a Denver Zoo comment. I'm sure we'll repost it here, but if you search Denver Zoo, how we got our greater one-horned rhino pregnant, you will find it. Hi Samuel, good evening. You must be in a different time zone. It's only 1 o'clock over here in Denver. So, oh my gosh, does anyone have any more questions? I think everyone's just really enjoying this adorable close-up look at Junuh. She is pure joy. And what does her name again mean in Nepalese?
Treasure or joy.
Yeah, treasure or joyful in nature.
Joyful in nature.
So I would say she is both.
She has lived up to her name for sure.
She really has. And a reminder, that name was picked by the public, who raised almost $40,000 for Denver Zoo and the International Rhino Foundation. Or International Rhino Fund. So thank you for those donations helping us name little Junuh. Junuh was definitely a favorite.
Hi.
For keeper Chris. Shannon wants to know, what is the lifespan
There's
of
her
a...
little teeth.
Oh my gosh, look at
There's
those
those little incisor teeth coming in.
Oh my, oh my
The
God.
lifespan, they live into their 40s. So Tenzing's 12, Junuh 4 months old. So they both have long lives ahead of them.
Yes, they do. Lynn is wondering when they are typically outside. It sounds like Lynn might be coming back to the zoo soon.
Yeah, they are outside until 2 o'clock every day. So they've still been in this same yard, which if you're looking at the elephant parlor, it's the yard to the right of it. Hopefully we will have them exploring other yards really soon here. And as soon as they're in another yard, we'll notify everyone so that they can be sure to find them. But for now, they are out until 2 o'clock every day.
Has Bandu met Junuh, or is he just kind of seen
He
her?
has seen her, yeah. They haven't shared any space. Spank a little booty to get that horsefly.
Oh no.
Yeah. He's seen her, and you know he's pretty interested. He'll watch through the gates and watch them both. But we have not. He has not, touched her face to face through gates or anything yet.
Let's see. Hi, Karen. There are a lot of different tracks to becoming a zookeeper. You don't have to have a 4-year degree, but the more you can learn, the more you can experience, volunteer, intern, the better. Hi, Tammy. We addressed this earlier. We don't know what will happen with Junuh in terms of her SSP match or anything like that. Again, get that horsefly.
Did you get it?
Oh, it flew away.
But at least for the next few years, she'll be safe and sound right here with Tenzing and our awesome rhino team. Monica is wondering how protective is their skin, and based on the way we are just taking off horseflies, I'd say it's pretty protective, and that's one of their main protections in the wild.
Thick. Oh, this actually, if you can see this little thing, that's a rhino bite from another facility. But to me, it demonstrates exactly why their folds are where they are, because a rhino bit her there, but all they got was a little piece of skin. So that kind of demonstrates to you why, what their really thick skin and where their folds are. On their rear end, though, their skin can be as thick as 2 inches. And then on places like their legs or under their chin, it's a lot more thin and a lot softer.
Being this size, what predators do they have?
If they're babies, tigers might go after the babies. But once they're fully grown, they don't have natural predators. Their biggest worry would be other rhinos. Since they're solitary species, they don't like coming across other rhinos unless it's time to breed. And then humans would be the other danger to them.
Absolutely. Hi, Vicky. We're disappointed you didn't get to see Junuh or Tenzing either, but we hope you come back and get to see her. Try to get a time slot before 2 o'clock. Oh, she's so cute. I'm getting a nice refreshing spray from this hose as well.
Flashback.
Here she comes.
nice.
No, it feels great. So it's the process when we do this, we just kind of rinse them off of all the mud, then they go back and cake themselves in it again.
They like getting hosed off, but then they know that it kind of gets the mud back off, so they'll go back to it.
They'll go back for more mud. So they look really dark right now when they're all wet and covered in water, and then they'll get the mud and then they'll dry and be like light gray.
Yeah.
It's very cool. Hey, Shannon, they love to swim. Not even just when it's hot, but just any time. But wallowing is a really big fun one. And then they have that pool over there. Can she go in the deep end now?
She has not gone in. Tenzing doesn't normally go in that part, and so Junuh doesn't really go where Tenzing doesn't. So she could, but Tenzing doesn't really. She prefers to kind of sit in a little bit shallower area.
Yeah. Hi, Blair. You should be able to get July tickets soon, so we have more spots for members, so hopefully you can come back soon. Well, I'm going to do my last call for questions, and we'll just see if a couple more come in before we wrap up. But I'll use this opportunity to once again say, help us vote for our Lion Cub names. The girls' names choices are Esther, Poppy, and Arali, and the boys' names are Oscar, Stout, and Lincoln. So yes, we've already picked names. And you can vote to donate to vote for one of your favorites of those 3. Josiah asks, what does their skin feel like?
Caitlin pointed out actually a really good analogy. It feels like a cantaloupe. Mm-hmm. So if you get one of those melons from the grocery store, or even if you don't buy it, if you just feel it, it feels really similar to that. So if you don't know what a cantaloupe feels like, then maybe like tree bark or almost like dried leather.
Mm-hmm. What about like a basketball? Those have those
Basketball,
dimples
yeah,
too.
That's a good one. Maybe a little bit, maybe not quite as soft as maybe an old basketball.
A basketball that's been left outside all summer.
Yeah.
There you go, friends. Yeah, Amber, we love sharing all of our animals. Luis wants to know how big their horns could get if they don't shave them down.
They can get pretty big. I want to say almost a foot is about as big as they can get.
Tenzing said, did someone say horn?
Yeah, there's Tenzing's pretty horn. Our males, his is probably up to here, so his is a lot bigger. He wears it down less than she does, but his still, compared to Rudy, our black rhino, Rudy's horns are probably like that tall.
Yeah.
So much taller, but usually they don't even get as tall as a foot if they could.
Because you said, you know, the horn isn't so much for kind of protection and fighting the way it is for like black rhinos and African rhino species.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see, Teresa wants to know what's like the hottest degree they can tolerate.
Oh, that's a good question. Anytime that it's over 90, we make sure that they have they'll get a cool down. Even though they have the pools and they can go in there themselves, or they have the wallow, we still want to make sure that they're either have access to inside or a way to cool themselves down, so trying to get them to go swimming themselves or hosing them off. But anything over 90, we're pretty quick to make sure that they don't get too hot.
Exactly, and they can seek out shade over here. They've got the wallow, so they know how to keep themselves cool too, but we'll always give them access or a cool down. Lala is 9. She says she tried it. She rubbed the cantaloupe.
Nice.
So
That's awesome.
I know it's not as good as the real thing, but at least it gives you a sense. So when you have your stuffed Junuh and you know what she'll actually feels like.
Just put some mud on your cantaloupe and then you'll really get the real experience.
Absolutely. McKenna was asking what their favorite food is. That browse, so branches they can kind of pull down, leaves and the bark that's on there.
Yeah, they love that stuff.
We talk a lot about the difference between browsers and grazers, so hopefully you frequent watchers know what I'm talking about when we say browse. All right, everyone, so I think that's all we've got for today. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been such a blast to watch Tenzing and Junuh. We're so happy for everyone kind of getting back to the zoo, your great questions, your continued support. We still need it more than ever. So thank you all so much. Thank you to Sarah and to Caitlin for answering your questions and keeping these two entertained. They know what time it is.
Yep, they know that.
They're ready to go back in.
Good internal clock.
They really do. So thank you to everyone. Don't forget to vote for our Lion Cub names. We will see you tomorrow. Bye.